So I'm the kind of person who gets in the mood for a particular food and I just go all in. And then all of a sudden, after I'm going really hard on that particular food, I am done with it. So right after we had Miles, it was Chipotle because it's delicious and somewhat healthy. I think my brain tricks me into thinking it's healthy. And you can get a bowl and eat half of it, and then the next day for lunch you don't have to cook, which is awesome. Anyways, I went on this Chipotle phase. I ate so many dang burritos that I started to look like one. And I was eating them like every other night. It was ridiculous. We spent way too much money on them, but it was easy and kind of healthy. And I loved it. It was awesome. And then bam, all of a sudden I could not think about Chipotle ever again. And here we are, 2.5, almost 3 years later, and I still haven't had one, and I have no desire for one. That, my friends, is burnout. It's real, and today we're going to give it a good look, not about burritos, but about work and life, and hopefully we're going to leave you feeling more confident to unwire this pattern in your life. 60% of professionals report feeling burned out. That was in 2023. Woohoo, 60%, that's over half. That is not a trend, people. That is an epidemic. So burnout is not just being tired. It's like a full-on body, mind, and soul shutdown. It's affecting professionals left and right, and trust me, it's not your fault. In this episode, we'll talk about the signs of burnout, why it's hitting so many of us so hard, and most importantly, how to recover without quitting your entire life. Sound good? Well, let's hop into it. Hey there, and welcome to Not Your Therapist, the no BS podcast where I ditch the therapy couch and get real about life, love, work, and all the messy in-betweens. I'm Kayla Riley, a licensed therapist and founder of a group practice that now runs without me, giving me freedom to spend more time with my littles and to share the secrets of wellness I've learned with people like you. This isn't therapy. It's your go-to for real talk, practical tips, and the occasional truth bomb to help you thrive. And the best part? No diagnosis, no insurance company constraints. I get to take off the white gloves and tell it like it is because I'm not your therapist. If you're ready to break free from unhealthy patterns, navigate the messiness of life with more ease, and uncover the magic in your everyday moments, you're in the right place. Welcome to your healing era, friends. Let's do this. Burnout is more than just being tired. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. So the World Health Organization even calls it an occupational phenomenon. So burnout is like a trifecta of emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and reduced accomplishment. So emotional exhaustion, pretty self-explanatory. You're feeling wiped out, you're overwhelmed, you're just plain done. The depersonalization piece is growing cynical, you're detached, or maybe you're just feeling like you're on autopilot. And then the third part, reduced accomplishment, means you're feeling like it's like a struggle to feel productive or effective, or like you're not making any impact at all. I know for me, I felt that way just in my life, like taking care of my children and my home and myself. So let's talk a little bit about the physiological response. Burnout is a physiological response to prolonged stress, and hormones play a starring role in the drama. So when you're stressed out, your body releases cortisol. It's the fight or flight hormone. Now it's fight, fly, freeze, and fawn, which sounds like a good episode. But anyways, that's a sympathetic nervous system. It's what keeps you alive. I've talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it again. It's great in short bursts, but really demanding when it's constantly elevated. So chronically high cortisol levels in your body can impact everything from your mood, your sleep, and even your immune system. It's like your body is stuck with its engine revving, and eventually you're going to run out of gas. If you're waking up in the morning thinking, I can't do this anymore, or you feel like a robot going through the motions, that's your burnout alarm blaring. So hustle culture in America really glorifies being busy, right? In this country, we wear overwork like a badge of honor, unlike many European countries that prioritize balance and shorter work weeks, extended vacations, and even national siestas. Oh my God, that sounds so good. Americans often view rest as laziness. For example, the US is actually the only advanced economy that does not guarantee paid vacation or holidays. So places like in France, for example, they mandate a minimum of 30 days paid leave annually. So this culture obsession with productivity leaves little room for meaningful downtime and reinforces this toxic idea that your worth is tied to how much you can achieve. So countries like Denmark and the Netherlands, those are the ones who rank the highest in work-life balance. The US lags way far behind, perpetuating a cycle of exhaustion and burnout. I think another contributing factor too is the post-pandemic effects. So there's a lot of blurred lines between work and home after COVID, and it's left us constantly on, right? So, and I think technology plays a big part in that too. So being able to see your work email 24/7 on your cell phone is not healthy. And let's be honest, most of us are addicted to our phones anyways because it's an easy, constant escape and a little dopamine hit. So most of us, when we have any kind of downtime or we're bored, we're reaching for that phone. Gosh, I'm guilty of that too. I try to have my phone like away from me, and that is such a freeing feeling. I think another reason why burnout is so common right now is because of the emotional labor overload, especially for women and caregivers. So women disproportionately carry the emotional well-being of others at work, at home, and social settings. Research shows that women are more likely to handle invisible labor, like managing schedules, resolving conflicts, making sure everyone feels seen, remembering birthdays, things like that. So this really contributes to the higher stress levels and less time and energy for self-care. Caregivers are often experience compassion fatigue. So if you're in any kind of caring role, you're a mother or you take care of your elderly parents, or maybe you're a caregiver in your work environment, a form of burnout is often from prioritizing others over yourself. According to a 2021 McKinsey report, women are twice as likely as men to feel exhausted from their dual roles during the pandemic. I don't know if it's just the pandemic though. I guess that was from the pandemic, but I highly doubt it's exclusive to that because I don't know. I see that all the time. When stress is like constant, your brain's amygdala, the fear center, goes into overdrive, and it's signaling your adrenaline glands to pump out this cortisol and adrenaline. So over time, it's depleting your body's resources, leaving you feeling like fatigued and foggy and physically just like unwell. It's like running on fumes. It's unsustainable. So burnout isn't this personal failure, it's often systemic, but we can still take steps to protect ourselves. So there's this quote by Anne Lamott, and she wisely said, almost everything will work again if you unplug for a few minutes, including you. Unplugging yourself. What a nice thought. So if you're ready to spot burnout early, here are some signs that you might want to look out for. Constant fatigue. So if you have no amount of sleep feels like enough to be rested in the morning, warning sign. Another one is irritability or apathy. Like if you're hanging out with your kids and it feels like a chore, you're burnout. It's time for some rest. Another one is brain fog, which is like struggling to focus, you're forgetting things, you're having a hard time making decisions. Brain fog, that's real. So here are some sneakier red flags. One is overcommitting, so you're saying yes to everything because you feel like you should, and escapist behaviors. So like binge watching Netflix or endless social media scrolling or overindulging in food and drinking. That's another sneaky red flag that you are burned out and you're self-medicating. So if you're nodding along, it's time to hit the pause button on your life or your work or whatever it is and recalibrate. Don't worry, we're going to get into the good stuff next, how to stop burnout in its tracks. So let's talk about how to recover without quitting everything. I like this 3 R's kind of idea. It's rest, reflect, and refocus. So resting is obviously step 1. So you really need to get some true rest, meaning getting really good uninterrupted sleep, taking breaks, putting your phone down, shutting off the screen, allowing your brain to really unravel. So having downtime without guilt. If you're sitting there on the couch and you're trying to rest, but you're sitting there thinking about all the things you should be doing, not that restful. Think of rest as an investment in your long-term productivity. I like the metaphor of a bow and arrow. When you're pulling the bow back, it's going to help it launch forward. So in order to get that forward momentum, there has to be some kind of backwards pull or build up of energy, right? In order to launch forwards. What a good metaphor. Hold on to that. The second step is reflecting. So identifying what's draining you. Maybe even doing some journaling and thinking, what's one thing I can say no to this week? So revisiting your values really helps to align your action with what really matters to you instead of being reactive and being caught up in other people's agendas. I'll say opening your email and letting your email be open all the time is one of the worst ways of being reactive because you are working on other people's agendas if you're responding to emails. It's the ultimate squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. So close that tab and only check your email once or twice a day, and definitely take the alerts off your phone. So we've got step 1, rest, true rest. Step 2, reflecting, really identifying what are the things that are draining you, what are maybe the behavioral patterns that you're in that are not so effective. Like, for example, when you have a quiet moment, pulling open your phone, not effective. You're not giving your body or your brain the chance to process what's been happening throughout the day and unraveling. Anyways, step 3 is going to be refocus. So you're going to align your life with your top values. So here's an exercise. In motivational interviewing, there's an exercise called the values card sort. Therapists use it all the time. It's so powerful with a therapist. If you have one and they haven't led you through the values card sort, ask them to. Or you can do it from home. Usually when you hop on Google and you say values card sort, there's usually printable. It's basically just a list of values, a really robust list. And you cut those pieces of paper into all these different values and you sort them into 3 piles: not important, important, and very important. Then you're going to take this stack of little pieces of paper with all these values on them, like for example, family, adventure, I don't know what are other examples. My brain is freezing right now, but you're going to take these values and you're going to sort them into the 3 piles. I really love the idea of then taking the most important pile and then picking the 3 top ones. Because a lot of times when we look at our top 3 values and we ask ourselves, am I living this way? So if family's the most important thing to me, then why, when I'm with my kids, am I scrolling on Facebook? Or if family's the most important thing to me, then why haven't I invited my parents over for dinner in the last 3 weeks? Making sense? I'm prioritizing work. I'm not prioritizing what's really valuable to me, which is my family relationships. It's a really good opportunity to refocus your behavior. Creating practical changes like dedicating family time or intentional work boundaries, or maybe as a family you set a phone time. Like for my husband and I, we try to go between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., honestly, really. 5 to 7 with no phones, because that's when we sit down, we eat dinner with our kids, we play after, we do the bedtime routine. That's 2 quality hours where we want to be present. Are we consistent with it all the time? Absolutely freaking not. However, I will say that when we do that, when we put our phones away, and I mean away, they have to be like in the bedroom with my friend calls it on the moon. When do not disturb on the moon, your phone's got to be on the moon and in your bedroom or somewhere away from your view. I love that. 2 hours of really quality time with your family. You can do this. Here are some practical other tips. Setting micro boundaries like no work emails after 8 p.m. or building recovery into your day through mindfulness or intentional breathing. Like maybe you just have an alarm that goes off at 12 every day, and it's just so that you can take a big deep breath. Rediscover joy. So reconnecting with hobbies and simple pleasures. I think we all have those. If you close your eyes and you think, what are hobbies that I've done over my life and what haven't I done in a really long time? And do that. My sister-in-law over the holidays told me her goal last year was to read 12 books for fun. Not self-help, not work-related, just purely fun. And she did it. And she said she really enjoyed that time with herself. She would sit and her husband would kind of play with the kids while she got the opportunity to read some smutty fantasy fun. Who doesn't love that? If you haven't read Sarah J. Maas books, if you're into fantasy, smutty fun, check it out. She's a really good author. I really like her. You know, I will say too, before we get off this topic, that I love to read smutty fun, but I felt like I never had time. So I actually got a really good pair of headphones, the AirPods, and I listen to my smutty books while I fold laundry and do dishes. It's a nice way to build in a hobby while feeling productive. So here's some final thoughts and takeaways. Burnout is real. It's something that's happening hormonally in your body. It's not just something us therapists are making up. But it's not permanent. With awareness, boundaries, small little intentional actions, you can take back control. You don't have to overhaul your entire life to recover or bounce back. Burnout is just a signal. It's not a death sentence. So listen to it and take one small step. Just one small step every single day makes a bigger change than if you try to do a bunch of steps and you're not consistent with it and it only lasts a week. As the writer and activist Audre Lorde said, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. Remember, prioritizing yourself is powerful and it's necessary. Reflect on your burnout signs, pick one strategy to try this week, and share your thoughts or questions with me on social media. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. I hope you found this super valuable. If you're ready for more, hop on over to my website, KaylaRiley.com. I made an in-depth audio training called Get Unstuck, 3 strategies to get out of unhealthy habits in your life. It also comes with a free workbook if you're more into like the paper and pen kind of exercises. I think you're really gonna like it. And if you hop over there and get access to it now, it's totally free. You will become an NYT insider. You're never gonna miss an episode of this podcast, and you're supporting me, you're helping me. So remember to hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a review. I really appreciate the support. See you next time. And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me on Not Your Therapist. If you're ready to break free from unhealthy patterns, head over to KaylaRiley.com and grab the free Get Unstuck audio training. When you sign up, you're going to become an NYT insider with access to exclusive freebies, behind the scenes content, and my most badass gems reserved just for you. And hey, if you're loving the show, the best way to support me is by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with a friend. Together, we can help more people manage life's mess, magic, and everything in between. Remember that success is only measured by how profoundly you experience your life, so don't settle for anything less than epic. I'll see you next time.